Hey guys, as you know, Heroes of the Storm has been getting hit by the coronavirus, and their team has been in a little bit of trouble. So, Kale Milker, the guy in this photo, he is the game director for Heroes of the Storm. Quite a cool dude. We're really good friends, me and him, and we've been kind of chatting a bit. He's been letting me head over to the office and help out with some of the new things that are coming out in Heroes of the Storm. But because he's sick and he's at home, he's been having some internet problems. So he decided to ask Comcast if they could come in and fix his internet. And they gave him a window of when they can fix it. And they said anywhere between 1 hour from now and 6 months from now, as Comcast does. So he decided that he was going to put me in charge. He was going to make me the interim game director for the next 6 months. And with that being said, I made a poorly edited video explaining all of the changes that I'm going to be making as the new temporary game director of Heroes of the Storm. And this is going to be my quarantined video to explain what is going to be changing in Heroes of the Storm, what's going to be staying the same, what you can look forward to in the future of Heroes of the Storm. So I apologize for the video quality because we do not have the teams available. Everyone's on quarantine right now. No one's at the Blizzard office. So I'm doing this from my home. So you're going to have to accept the quality's not that great. We don't have fancy editing or anything. But I do still really want to share with you guys what changes we have in store. So the first thing is there's going to be some major changes over the next 6 months, but there are going to be some changes that are going to be applied tomorrow. So what I would look forward to is those changes tomorrow that were quick, things that we were already working on, or just things that were easy for us to implement. But over the next 6 months, I do want to talk about some of the bigger changes that are going to be happening, and we'll get into that. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Haunted Mines. Haunted Mines has been kind of a problem for us because it's just a map with a neat mechanic, but it's either been too buggy or very difficult to balance. So with that being said, we are going to be bringing back Haunted Mines. We were able to fix all of the bugs, but in that process, we accidentally created one more bug. The one bug that we created from this was that when Chromie enters the mines, she disappears, and she stays disappeared. But the problem that we found was not just that this was a bug for that. When Chromie entered the mines, she actually disappeared from all of our game files completely. So we could have gone back and gotten Chromie back and then lost Haunted Mines, but we decided to pull the players, and the players were okay with that trade, losing Chromie to get Haunted Mines back. So that's what we're going to be doing. Chromie is no longer going to be in the game, but we do have Haunted Mines now. And it's a bug-free Haunted Mines that's been balanced after about 6 months of testing, so it's a really good one. Secondly, Illidan mains. They've been complaining that he feels like a shadow of his former self. So we decided to rebuff him back to the original state, the one that he was very, very powerful in, but we decided to give him even more than that. We figured that in World of Warcraft and in Hearthstone, he summons demons, right? He summons these big, fiery, elemental demons. And we're like, let's give him that too. So he has the ability now to summon fiery demons, but also in WoW, when he starts reaching the later expansions, I mean, he's flying around, he's fighting Sargeras, he is doing, I mean, he can literally fly infinitely at jet speeds, so we figured let's give him that as well. With all of that we're giving to Illidan, he seems rather strong, so in order to balance it, we've decided to partner up with our first sponsor, and that is Zoom. Zoom is your premier tool for hosting meetings during this quarantine, and we are using Zoom's webcam technology to make sure that Illidan is a balanced hero. And the way that we're going to be doing that is we're using that webcam technology to make sure that your eyes are closed while you're playing Illidan. Because that would be the only way that we can keep him balanced, is by having your eyes closed. If you open your eyes at any point during a game that you are playing Illidan, then your hero will then be pushed all the way down to the bottom left portion of the map, where he will stay for the next 10,000 years. Genji mains were also complaining, particularly that they needed healing. So we gave them Deathwing's passive. They're not asking for healing anymore. Arthas mains were complaining that his model was old, so we gave him the Warcraft 3 model, not the Reforged one. Uther mains were complaining about mana problems, so we lowered their health by 200 like we've done in the last 2 patches. They're going to stop complaining eventually. Blaze mains, on the other hand, were complaining about the social inequality in the eastern regions of Pakistan. So we increased the health of Bunker by 5. Finally, shards just sounded kind of weird, so instead of paying shards to get skins, we were changing the name of the currency to bonsai points, because I like bonsais, and if they're going to hire me as game director, I'm going to at least add bonsais in somewhere. So we now have bonsai points to unlock skins, and those are still going to be those free options. Those are all the immediate changes that are going to be happening. Absolutely, I mean, almost all of these are going to be happening tomorrow. But let's talk about the next 6 months of this game, because ultimately, what I find a lot of times is just bringing out a hero in a game only brings people back temporarily. A lot of people see Deathwing, they come back, they go, oh, I want to play Deathwing, they play Deathwing for a while, he gets a couple nerfs, and people are like, I don't want to play Deathwing anymore, and the game still feels exactly how it felt when I left. So we need to come up with ways to answer that problem, as well as answer the other problems of all the people who have left the game in the past, but also we want to answer the problems of the people who never tried this game out to begin with. So in order to answer the problems of everyone who's left in the past, as well as all the people who haven't tried out the game in the first place, and we want to bring HotS back, not just to its former glory, but we want to make HotS greater than it's ever been. With that being said, we're going to take a 4-prong approach with this. We are going to make seasons. We are going to bring back new players. We are going to bring back the pro scene. And we're going to bring a cooperative mode into this game. So let's start off with these season changes. So what is a season change? Similarly to like how we did the anomalies this season, where the experience drops down on the floor instead, we're going to be taking that approach, but we're going to take it to a further extent. Games like Overwatch are making sweeping ban changes to where major meta heroes are just getting a flat ban, so you have to pick something other than those major meta heroes. League of Legends, they did a sweeping change to the jungle, and for the first time, they've actually changed the design of the jungle throughout the game, as well as every season they make huge changes to the meta and dropping 3 or 4 champions in between, as well as also changing all the items that are available in the stores and major game changes. So with all of these major games making these huge changes every season, we want to take that same approach. But as far as major changes to the game, we've always taken the approach of let's solve a major issue in the game at the same time. Let's just not shake things up for fun. The ammo changes was because the solo lane roster pool came down to about 3 heroes, and that was it. All heroes that could push endlessly, remove all the ammo, and then continue pushing on and dominate. So they removed the ammo changes, and now solo lane has one of the largest roster pools of all time. We want to make a similar change to that every single season, and if it works, we might keep it in the game, and if it doesn't work, then it's gone, and we're going to the next season. So for season 1 of these seasonal changes, we are going to be doing something to solve the problem where people say, there's not enough individual skill in HotS, and it's just a team-based game, there's nothing you can do alone. We're going to bring in that individual skill, and we're going to do it by learning from the best of other games as well as learning from the worst of other games. This season, we are going to be implementing a gold and buff system. You will then gain gold by doing something that proves that you have individual skill above the opposing person in that same role. So, for example, if you are playing the solo lane, and you can push them away from their globe and steal their globe, you get 1 gold. If you are playing an assassin and you get a kill, you get 1 gold. If you're playing a healer and you get a cleanse that cleanses off a specific CC, a CC that likely would have killed someone, you get 1 gold. These gold options are going to be balanced and they're going to be adjusted so one person doesn't get too many gold, and it's not too easy to get a gold. We're going to find unique ways to make sure that your role can get more gold if you play better. That gold is going to be used in several different ways. Number 1 is on every map and every hero you can buy stats. More basic damage, more spell damage, more physical armor, or more spell armor. This will give you ways to adapt based off of the enemy team and make it to where you have a higher chance at dealing with the scariest members of the opposing team. If they go with a whole bunch of physical armor, then you can go and have everyone start buying a bunch of physical armor. Physical damage versus physical armor. That being said, there are also hero-specific things that you can purchase. For example, Li Ming now has Calamity that you can buy at any level, meaning that if you get a lot of gold early, you could pick up Calamity before level 7. And since you're picking up Calamity, you won't need to take it as a talent, allowing you to build in another way. Then there's also Kharazim. Now, Kharazim has his own unique one where if you buy this buff, which we're calling Trinity Fists, you will then get the ability to use all 3 of his level 1. So one punch will do damage, the next punch will heal someone, and the third punch will give you mana and cooldown reduction. And so there are a lot of different options with that. And finally, there are map-specific consumables. So while all of those are buffs that you'll keep for the rest of the game, there are really powerful consumables that are relatively cheap that can give you an advantage, which might make it easier for your entire team to win. For example, you could summon a Web Weaver on Tomb of the Spider Queen, just a single one, wherever you want to. So you can place a Web Weaver against an opposing team's Web Weaver to deal with their objective. These seasonal changes are all meant to make individual difference on the game. It's allowing you to have more depth in Heroes of the Storm, while also having these extra seasonal changes. But you might be asking yourself, but Paradox, what are you going to do to implement these, because we have such a small dev team now, which is where I want to hire a larger dev team, and I want to bring some more people in, and the way we're going to fund that is we're not going to ask for any of that Blizzard Activision money, right? We're going to do this all in-house. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a system that's worked for a wide range of other games. And this is the first monetization system change in HotS 3.0. And that is going to be, we're getting rid of loot boxes, but we're going to add a battle pass system. In this battle pass system, you will be unlocking bonsai points to get more skins free. And there is a base version of this battle pass that's going to be completely free. You'll get those bonsai points, as well as you can get a wide variety of exclusive skins. You can unlock specific heroes. You could unlock so much stuff by going through that. And then there's going to be a paid version for you guys to support us, which is going to give even more exclusive rewards, and it's going to triple the rate that you are getting the current battle pass. And this is going to both allow us to have these cool seasonal changes, be able to hire the devs needed to make those seasonal changes, as well as it's going to allow you guys to unlock stuff in a less RNG capacity. Currently with the loot boxes, everything's random. You could buy 50 loot boxes and not get what you want. So instead, we're changing it around to be less RNG, and you know what you're going for. You're about to unlock a new skin. Well, maybe you want to play just a little bit more to unlock that skin. Now that you have that skin, you want to play more to play that skin. So you're going to continue playing, and guess what? Now you're close to the mount unlock. So that is what the new Battle Pass system will bring, and that is our first step to make each of these seasons interesting and keep people playing during these seasons. The next prong of our approach of HotS 3.0 is to bring in new players. We really liked HotS 2.0 because it brought out these huge packs that brought back a lot of people. My friend was one of them. He stopped playing Heroes of the Storm. I told him that he could get a bunch of heroes for free. He came back. He played for a long time, several seasons, and he really loved it. So we want to bring back those huge options for hero pools, but we don't like it just being in one bundle because then it encourages Smurfs. And for new players, we really don't want to be encouraging Smurfs. So instead, what we're going to be doing is a quest-based unlock system in an entire talent tree. So there's going to be a talent tree for each role in the game. And every time that you unlock a quest, or unlock a hero, you're going to get 5 quests, 3 to 5 quests on that hero. And each quest that you complete is going to give you gold. It's going to give you bonsai points. It's going to give you so many different things, allowing you to move up to the next hero unlock. And the goal with this is to unlock about a third of the roster. Primarily, it's going to be the cheaper heroes first, of course. But each one of these quests, we hope that the 5 quests will take enough games to get your character to level 5. Once you get to level 5, hopefully you've learned the basics of that character as well as a couple intermediate tips. For example, let's say that you pick the tank talent tree first. You're going to get ETC as your first hero. You just get it just for picking the tank talent tree. Then you're going to get 5 quests. One is going to be to push people away several times with your W. This will teach you peeling. One is going to be using your Q and then having a target die immediately afterwards. This is going to be making sure that you're picking targets that your team's attacking, CCing them so that they can be attacked for a longer portion of time. As well as covering lanes is going to be one of the options. And then the final one is going to be a difficult quest that is going to be take a lot of damage but not die. And this is going to teach you how to go in, take some hits for your team, and get out, heal up a little bit, and go back in. This is a really powerful playstyle that I've talked about so many times while coaching. As someone who's coached over 200 players and moved up the average by 2 full tiers, I'm going to be working with a team to make sure that all of these quests for each of the heroes that are in these talent trees are going to be things that are going to teach them how to better play these heroes. So they're going to be able to unlock about a third of the roster by going through all of these quests. It's going to be tedious for Smurfs to do, so they likely won't actually go through and do all of that. And it's going to be great for new players. But we are also going to be doing something else for dealing with Smurfs. We have worked with our sponsor, #Zoom, the app you've never heard of until about 3 weeks ago before all of this quarantine stuff happened. And that will determine which accounts are Smurfs, and they will use that new webcam technology. And the only way that Smurfs will be able to play on that account is if they paint themselves blue. With that being said, those are the changes that we really want to bring to new players, giving them an option to learn the game at the same time as unlock a lot of new stuff. The next thing that we want to share here is the new cooperative mode. You see, StarCraft 2 did so well with the cooperative mode that the devs were actually surprised that it started making more money than the regular mode. But not only did it make more money, it had about 70% more people playing at any given time on the cooperative mode than the regular mode, even years after its release. Because casual people do like to play co-op modes, and sometimes people that are just getting a little burned out or getting a little tilted would like a mode where they can still play Heroes of the Storm, but they don't need to do it in an environment that's competitive. So we're going to be creating a cooperative mode, and this mode is going to have a separate seasonal pass. And this separate seasonal pass is going to unlock the heroes. Well, we actually have 2 possible options for this. We might have you rebuy the heroes that you want for the co-op mode, or we might have a seasonal pass. We haven't really decided yet. That's going to be for some internal testing to really decide the monetization system of this. But we're not going to ask big old Blizzard Activision over there what... we're not going to ask them for any money. We're going to run this all in-house, and we're going to hire the people we need to get this co-op mode out. This co-op mode is going to have a lot of really cool stuff, similarly to the StarCraft co-op mode, where there are progression systems in the game, like you making a building that allows you to make new units. There's also a progression system out of the game which allows you to have more buildings that you get to create. Well, because we're not going to be building buildings, we are going to have 2 systems. In-game, you are going to be leveling up similarly to the way that you normally level up in this cooperative mode. And then out of game, there's going to be a ranking system. And the ranking system is going to be specific to your hero. The higher rank you get is based purely off of how much you play. And you will be able to unlock more and more things for that hero. Sonya, for example, is unique in the fact that all of her rank ups are unlocking different talents. So with Sonya, you're going to be able to unlock all of her talents by the end of it. So you can spin and heal a bunch, do a bunch of damage. You can go in and start hitting things and healing a bunch and doing a bunch of damage. You can use Leap as well as Wrath of the Berserker. And that is her unique approach. When you get in-game, though, you're going to be gaining levels like you normally do, but you'll have all of your talents unlocked when you get to those tiers. And then also there are going to be buffs that you can purchase for the longer defense maps during the co-op options. We also have, let's say, for example, Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer's gimmick is that when you get her to the last rank, she has a talent that she gets that allows her to increase her sieged range by 10 for every level in-game. With a max level of 30 in-game, that gives you a potential range of 300. And that's pretty incredible, as that's going to allow you to cover a huge portion of the map. It's essentially a mini global range that will cover so you can be hitting things, helping your team in multiple areas of the map as Sergeant Hammer. Kerrigan's final rank allows her to ascend slightly into some of her Xel'Naga powers. With her ascending slightly into her Xel'Naga powers, whenever she uses Maelstrom, she will get a new set of abilities that she can use, which are a little bit more ranged oriented, and that's something that you can go into. So that is the cooperative mode. It works so well in StarCraft that Overwatch is making an entire expansion based off of cooperative play, and we want to also include a little bit of cooperative play for those who really enjoyed our defense brawl as well as our offense brawl that were completely cooperative. We want to have 17 new options for cooperative that are going to be unique maps that will have varying difficulties that you will need to rank up as well as learn the different heroes so you can improve those cooperative modes. Finally, guys, let's talk about the pro scene. Pro scene has been pretty, I would say, a rough part for so many of us. Many of us liked Heroes of the Storm because there was this story along with it where we could watch these certain players. We could watch as Rich just dominated, and we could see all the new ways that he played these heroes that we were like, man, I didn't even think that was possible. We got to see some teams go from being 4th or 5th place, like Heroes Hearth's team, to all the way up to 1st place on the last season of HGC. We got to see these underdog teams just jump in there, and we got to see so many cool things in the pro scene. So what we want to do is we want to bring back the pro scene, but naturally, paying a salary to 5 different players on 8 different teams on 3 different regions just gets super expensive. Actually, more than 3 different regions, but it just got very, very expensive. So we want to create a smaller one to begin with, and if people like it, it's going to grow. And again, we don't want to ask big ol' Blizzard Activision for any money here. What we're going to do is we're going to learn from 2 different games. We're going to learn from League of Legends, and at the end of every tournament, the winning 5 heroes, everyone wants to learn what those heroes were. In fact, I watched the HotS logs numbers, and after the final game of the tournament, there were an increase of about 25% on Tyrande, because Tyrande was used in that final game. Well, because more people want to learn the heroes that won the final grand finals of everything in HGC, we're going to come up with some really cool skins, and we're going to push those out. So while you're learning this new hero, you can also buy these really cool new skins for those 5 heroes of the winning team, and a portion of that money is going to go to HGC, a portion of that money is going to go to the teams, and the rest is going to continue to keep Heroes of the Storm an awesome game for you guys. But wait, there's more. So while the top few teams will still be making a salary through HGC, we do want to give a little bit more flavor to help out the teams that are a little bit lower that we won't be giving a salary to, which is if you qualify into the pro scene, your team will be able to submit a logo as well as 3 colors that we can combine to create unique skins for every single hero in the game. These are all going to be recolors similar to the Overwatch Pro system, where you can get all of the different skin combinations that you want, color combinations that you want. You'll be able to support your team, and it's going to give a lot of skins to heroes that probably don't have that many skins, and they're all simply recolors, so they won't be too difficult for our team to bring out, but it's going to be a lot of money that our team will be able to use, so we'll be able to hire a little bit more art people, as well as if you pay money to get one of the team skins, let's say the Heroes Hearth skin, well, guess what? Heroes Hearth makes a little bit of money off of that skin, and then they can then pay their players to continue being a team that you would be willing to support. So you get to support them both in-game and out of the game. This will allow us to bring back HGC in a way that is financially feasible and in a way that all the players can support them by getting more content in-game while also paying the players by a decent amount. It worked for Overwatch and it worked for League of Legends. So let's learn from the places that it's worked for, and let's put those together and run with it. But for those who are still competitive, for those who are still very good, don't just hop out yet. Even if you don't think that you can make it into a competitive team, but you still want to compete, or you just don't have time to practice with the competitive teams, but you still think that you're good enough to compete, we will be doing prized tournaments. They will be inside the game. They will have unique rule sets, and some of them will require a team of 5, some will require a team of 2, some of them you will join in, and we will assign you a team based off of the internal ranking system of these tournaments. We will run these tournaments twice a week, and then when it gets to the finals, whoever is in the top 5 will get cash. Everyone throughout the top 25 will get gems as well as bonsai points in game, and then the rest will have their names still up there on that leaderboard. So we will be adjusting these leaderboards along the way. It's gonna be a great way to get some extra cash while you're in college. You don't have time to join an actual pro team, but you could make a little bit extra there. These prize tournaments, some of them will have entry fees to get into, but primarily we're going to do our best to keep these relatively inexpensive to join and be a part of. The entry fees should be able to cover most of it, but we may do some also skin shenanigans along the way. With that being said, the final piece is we want to bring back Heroes of the Dorm. It was actually just a massive write-off for us. So, while it never really broke even including all the write-offs that we got from it, it's still something that we really believe in. So we're going to continue on those team color schemes to all of the heroes, and we're going to use those skins to be our option for paying a little bit of this event so we can still have Heroes of the Dorm as an option. And guys, that is it. Those are the 4-prong approaches that we're looking at over the next 6 months to reintroduce people back into the game. We want to bring back everyone that is left at any point during this game, and we also want to bring new players in that we've never had before. And I think all of these changes are going to be the best way to do that. With that being said, everything like that, thank you guys so much for sticking with me, sticking with Heroes of the Storm throughout all of these changes. I know we loved KO Milker and all of the changes that he brought to the game, as well as the other game directors before that, and I hope you guys give me the courtesy of at least letting me try some of these new changes for Heroes of the Storm. I know some of them seem a little strange, especially like the changes that are happening in the next day or two, but with all of that being said, I do really want to say, have a happy April 1st. Thank you so much.